Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We are now live at BeyondX. Looking at the list of participants, it seems that there are a lot of participants from Asia. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone is chill and relaxed and ready to enjoy what the speakers has. My name is Kawai. I'm from ONG&ONG, and I'm in Singapore.
Hi, my name is Lit Hao. Good afternoon. I'm the HR Director at ONG&ONG Group. Just some housekeeping, if I may. A quick reminder to all Zoom attendees, please don't worry, your mic and cameras are disabled. However, if you'd like to make a comment, please click chat at the bottom, the chat button at the bottom. If you want to ask questions and all that, which we will do a Q&A later, please enter your questions in the Q&A tab as well. Now, the more you interact with us, the better, so that we can have more information to couch the discussion in the Q&A later. So please do chat with us, and please do enter your questions anytime. Yeah. Okay. Now. Back to Kawai to introduce the session, the event.
Yeah, BeyondX is an annual design festival that showcases fresh technology and speakers to inspire creativity and innovations, where we invite the most prestigious speakers in their field to share their knowledge and development with the world. So this year we have invited 10 speakers from very diverse background to share their knowledge. And as we explore the smart way of technology and digitalization, how they can inform the future of the AEC industry.
And this year also we have 8 sessions, and thanks to everybody who has stayed with us this entire 2 days. This will be the final session of this year's BeyondX, and we. For this session, we have a very special speaker. We're very privileged to have with us Mr. George Bileca. Welcome, George. Good afternoon. And now George is a co-founder and chief digital officer at Voxel Architects. George, it's Bileca, I'm sorry, Bileca. I apologize. Bileca leverages on his experience in designing and creating high-quality crypto collectible assets and interactive virtual experiences to help brands and blockchain communities build a digital presence in the Metaverse. Very exciting thing, Metaverse. He has worked on 3D construction projects for renowned companies such as Consensus, Sotheby's, Outliers Ventures, Metacoven, and much more. Now, without further ado, we would like to invite Bileca to share with us his experiences and thoughts and opinions and vision of the Metaverse. Bileca, please.
Please.
Hello, Loka. Hello, Liang. Thanks so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you and share my expertise with the Metaverse with you. Just a quick check. Can you guys hear me well? Can you guys see me well? Perfect. All right. Well, I don't even know where to start. There are so many subjects to touch, but I would start with the presentation I prepared specifically for this event. And I will share my screen in a second. Okay, so can you guys see this? There we go. Okay, so let me make a quick introduction to our company. We are Voxel Architects. We are one of the first digital architecture companies built entirely on blockchain. We were developing builds in the Metaverse for quite a while now, I think around 1.5 years. As you said, as you did in the introduction, we are helping basically brands and individuals to gain a presence in the Metaverse. So what was the premise from where we started the company is that we saw because of COVID and because everything happened, everything turned digital. So we saw a radical change in how users interact with brands and communities. The second problem that we saw is that the Metaverse basically it's split into multiple categories. Actually, the definition of a metaverse is that the entire let's say cluster of websites that form the internet, this is the metaverse. So you can say that the internet is a metaverse, and basically what we're building actually are virtual worlds. But these virtual worlds are built with some mechanics in mind. So they try to make people acquire digital lands and to build on them. But to build on them, you need some technical expertise into 3D modeling, into design. So that's where we stepped in. So building a presence in the metaverse is way more complicated than it seems. And we are actually working with 4 different metaverses, which are Cryptovoxels, Decentraland, Somnium Space, and Sandbox. So these are like the main virtual worlds, but these are 3D virtual worlds. So if you make like a comparison, they are more like a game, whereas there are virtual worlds like Super World who are more based on AR. So that's a focus. That's another subject which we won't touch today. We are just gonna focus on like 3D worlds. Okay, let's move on. So our vision is that we believe that future businesses will be strongly influenced by the expansion of the metaverse. And what that means really is that as we saw the explosion of the web in 2000s, that's what we're seeing with the metaverse right now. So basically, this is the new way, the improved way of interacting with everything digitally. You, in 2000, you went to a website, you saw the products on the web page. Now we cannot simply live without the commodity of going online and buying things and interacting with brands and businesses. But now we're seeing a change, and businesses are actually shifting to metaverse platform to offer a more interactive experience. We specialize in developing professional, visually pleasing, and functional digital buildings for virtual work, for companies to interact with their customers. We are committed to consistently deliver premium products on time and with no compromises. So we consider ourselves to be a premium brand, so we want to deliver the best possible product. So let me present you a little bit our services. So first we start with parcel scouting. So parcel scouting is a relatively difficult subject in the metaverse because on the blockchain, there is currently an economy that is a little bit hard to understand for most of people. So we're trying to make this easy for everyone. So we're helping like brands and individuals to search and purchase parcels for them in Decentraland, in Cryptovoxels, in Somnium. So let me show you some examples of what we did. So here is Cryptovoxels. Basically, this is a client that we had back in March. His name is Bill. His Twitter tag is West Coast Bill. He asked us basically to make like a ode to SpaceX and to create some art galleries for him in the metaverse. And in the process, we actually search the parcels in Cryptovoxels. We have like a very strong network of people in the metaverse, so we managed to acquire the ones in the center. So when you want to build something in the metaverse and you are a big brand, you would want to have like everything central. So as soon as you spawn into the metaverse, you would like jump in and you will see like these big buildings and brands that we all know and love. So yeah, this is parcel scouting. We also did for Metacoven when we did the B20 project, if you probably know it, when Metacoven bought 20 Beeple artworks, original editions. We have also scouted in Decentraland, in Cryptovoxels, the full package to get like the most of it. Architecture and design, well, this is basically what we specialize in. At our base, I studied architecture and then I moved into car design and and car body 3D development in an Autodesk software named Alias. And that's how I met Leandro, and we founded Voxel Architects, because basically he was working in the same industry. And while we were trying to build a dealership for his cars in the metaverse, basically, that's how we discovered the possibility of developing buildings in the metaverse. So architecture and design, this is one example of architecture that we did. This is Consensus. The Consensus building was inspired by their logo. Their logo from the top view symbolizes a spiral, so we try to go with that idea. But the thing about the architecture in the metaverse is that it has endless possibilities, and that's what I'm super excited about, especially for architects. Like right now we see a little bit of conservatism in the architecture. This is what when metaverse steps in and remove all these possible barriers. So if you look close in this picture, we even have like a floating bar above the entire building of Consensus. Some more example, as we said, Consensus right here. We have in Somnium Space, which is another great metaverse. We have Outlier Ventures building right here. Every metaverse has its different styles, so they will be like pretty different from each other. Here it is Cryptovoxels, where we design a building for an art gallery. Mona. Okay, so to touch a little bit on the subject, each metaverse works differently. Cryptovoxels works with blocks, so it's more like a blocky type of environment, as well as sandbox. They are inspired by Minecraft, both of them, but they are very different from Minecraft. So they share the same ideology, like having built everything with blocks to make it easier for the player, but also it has some really advanced 3D feature and integration that I will talk about once I end this presentation. Decentraland, on the other hand, it's a software, it's a metaverse that relies on more professional 3D software like Blender, like Maya, maybe even 3ds Max. And Somnium Space is a software that it has an interesting building system. It's more similar to The Sims, if everyone played The Sims here. Okay, in-game coding. We offer in-game coding, custom in-game coding for every build. Here we have some examples. In the top left corner, we have an example for our client, Billy, where we have built a live Twitter wall for him. So every time he tweets something, this will get an update. Here we have a gallery that's inspired by the famous architect Zaha Hadid. This was like a ode to her, like bring her in the metaverse somehow, but in our own style. So we coded like opening sliding doors and artworks. You press on the artworks, you pop up some information. And of course, the B20, in which you can buy the B20 tokens. And the B20 tokens are really interesting because you buy them and you basically own a part of MetaCoven's collection of Beeple artworks. So what we did here in Decentraland, for example, you could just click on the token point and you can buy the tokens directly in game, which at the moment, this is very rare in the metaverse, but this is kind of the direction where metaverse is going. So metaverse is shifting towards an e-commerce space. We are personally developing infrastructure for this. We are developing payment gateways, wallet chat. We are basically developing, like, with coming as a package with our designs. We are also developing the code behind this, so we will make it possible for brands to come in and sell their products, advertise their products, which we find really important, because a lot of people ask me, what's the difference between the metaverse and a game? Like, you go in a game, you can just buy the virtual tokens from the game. Well, the metaverse is different, and is different because it has an open economy. And that's the most important thing, because people can basically live of the metaverse. That's what we can see in the future, people making a living out of this instead of like just going in a game and buying a specific token. For example, we have a game called X Infinity on the blockchain, where you can buy axes, which are like tiny creatures that you buy with Ethereum token. And then you use these axes and you basically get paid for playing the game, which is, for me personally, it's an amazing thing to like be able to like sit in the comfort of your home and make a living out of that. All right, next, CMS, custom media, custom interface. For every build that we do, we integrate a CMS either in Cryptovoxels or Decentraland. We have the system where the client cannot, like, the problem, as I underlined earlier, is that it's very hard to build in these metaverses if you don't have expertise. So we're trying to make things easier for everyone. So that's why we have built our own CMS, so people can easily go in and replace their artworks without having to deal with knowing how the metaverse works. Metaverse networking, we have, because we are one of the first that did this, we have like very strong connections in the metaverse. We can reach Decentraland, Cryptovoxels easily. For any brand that wants to join, we can help them out with that. Absolutely no problem. We have worked with big brands like Sotheby's. Here in the top, in the bottom left corner, we can see like Kashmir, the famous producer, had an event in the metaverse, which worked very well. We had here, if you look closely, we had the Twitch stream that was live running in the metaverse. So people actually gathered inside the building and watched the stream from inside the metaverse, which might not seem like a really big thing, but it's a really big step for the metaverse, because there were hundreds of people and working seamlessly, gathered in one place, able to socialize with each other while watching the stream. Here we have a couple more buildings, Roman Amphitheater and the lounge, which is Token Smart Lounge. Token Smart is basically a community that introduces new ideas and new brands to the metaverse. Recently, they had some events with Christie's and Stella Artois. So yeah. Next, metaverse expansion. So this is one of the most important things, what metaverse is all about: interoperability. So this is what started Crypto Motors, our car brand, and this is still valid for the metaverse, because you can have all these different metaverses and you can basically build the same building in each one of them and have the same event at the same time in all these different spaces. So that's what happened with B20. It worked very well, and we have built a museum in every single one of these metaverses. So extra services, we have a service cluster. Voxel Architects is part of a group called NFT Studios. And NFT Studios, it's focusing on developing software for the infrastructure. We focus on creating like NFTs at lower prices. For example, we have this is the logo of NFT Studios. Here we have a project that we recently launched, which is the Tom Sachs Rocket Factory. We partnered here with Tom Sachs to create an entire production of NFT rockets through our minting system. I don't speak too much on this subject, but we are also planning to build something very special in regards to this project, and that's all that I can say at the moment. E1337, again, touching on that subject with e-commerce. Here you have some digital clothing that you can buy with actual tokens. You have like elite tokens, which are based on Ethereum ERC token, basically. So Ethereum, or based on Ethereum, you can create like multiple tokens. and Elite is one of them. You can just buy using our payment system, our payment gateway. You can buy digital and physical items like this one. You can just buy it and have it delivered to your house without having to deal with any payment, any credit card, anything. You just use MetaMask and or any other wallet, and it will work seamlessly to just acquire these digital exclusive products, to say, because this you cannot get them with any fiat. This is only like crypto exclusive, and that's what we're trying to push. We have even built a digital store for this in Cryptovoxels. While the infrastructure is still not ready, it's still a proof of work for this concept. Another thing that we're working on is store design and custom asset development. So to make even easier this for the people, for the people who have no experience in 3D modeling, we are building our custom asset in every metaverse, in Decentraland, in Cryptovoxels. So through our custom interface, players will be able to take those items and place them directly inside their builds without any sort of problem, faster, just like similar to the, let's say, sim system. I would like to take this moment to thank our partners who support us in this amazing journey: Decentraland, Cryptovoxel, Sandbox, Somnium, Elite, and Whale community, which is an absolutely amazing community. If you are interested in blockchain, you should definitely check them out. And forgot to mention here Token Smart, which they are actually super good guys. Thank you. This was me, my presentation. I would like now just to show you a little bit how this metaverse works and how you can actually enter them. So let me quickly share my screen in Google Chrome right now. So there we are in Cryptovoxels. Let me actually go on the main page of the website so you can see how easy it is. This is Cryptovoxels, one of the metaverses, one of the biggest actually. You have the option to connect with Web3 interface. So you connect basically with your wallet in here, and you just play now, and here you are entering the metaverse. It will take some time to load, but we can walk a little bit in this building so we can get a feel of how they look like. It's currently loading because I'm streaming right now. So it will take a little bit of time. But yeah, for example, SpaceX Metabase just loaded. There is a rocket with Dodge inside of it dropping shorts. That's a reference to Elon Musk shorts. That was the client request actually. He's a good friend of Elon, so he really wanted that. Here's an art gallery that we built for one of our customers. He does everything to the CMS, so he doesn't have to go inside Cryptovoxels. And once you click on the artworks, it will pop up a link that will either redirect you to the artwork or it will give you some information about it. Yeah, and I can actually show you the live Twitter wall that is right here and is constantly updating. Another gallery, you can actually fly in the metaverse. Another art gallery, we are really like focusing on getting like the best architecture possible in the metaverse, because it's not something that it's easy to learn. You have to learn like a lot of skills to be able to work with this pro efficiently. So here we have a menu of Cryptovoxels. So these are basically just like any other software. You have music, you have buttons that you can script inside, which are going to be really important. Lanterns for creating light, YouTube, Twitch streams. These are very, very important and work very well. Vox models, basically 3D models supported by the software, videos, and many other things. Let me actually show you our first ever build that we did in Cryptovoxels, which is the Crypto Motors dealership, which is currently loading. Crypto Motors actually will have a special drop of cars coming today. So this is when we discovered that we can work in Cryptovoxels, and we basically created our own digital virtual studio here. So this is where Voxel Architects was born. This is how it started. And actually one of the people, Token Smart, will host an event tonight here. So we have prepared everything for this matter. One more thing I want to show you, and then I think we can get going. We have Decentraland. We can actually go inside, and I can show a little bit how it works, if it will load, because again, I'm streaming at the moment. 1 second. It will take a little bit more time to load than Cryptovoxel, because Decentraland has a different system, a different graphic system. It actually has like this light system, this light and shadow system, which actually takes a lot of horsepower for your PC to run. It all works. What's amazing is that it works in the browser, and you can basically run it on any computer as long as the browser is taking care of your hardware acceleration and your computer is good enough. So you actually have like graphic settings if you want to run on a Mac or on a weaker computer. So let's dive right in inside Decentraland. And we can actually go on the map, and there's Nyanket. We can go on the map and we can check some interesting builds like Sotheby's, for example. We can go at Sotheby's. It will teleport us instantly there. So this is a build that we replicated. Actually, our architect team has replicated. We have about, like, in total at our company, we have around 20 employees, 2 of which are full-time professional architects, and we have a team of 3D modelers and developers. So Sotheby's, we replicated the Sotheby's in London, basically, tried to get it as accurate as possible. Here's also the concierge of Sotheby's. It's a little bit laggy because it's streaming right now. So I think I should have pre-recorded this. There's a logo and automatic doors that open. This is a really heavy build. They recently had a drop with Jay-Z and Derek Adams. And you can actually go inside the galleries and check the artworks out. Click on them, find more details, get a token for participation. Yeah, so that's basically it. We saw a lot of brands interested in continuing to build into Metaverse and join this movement. And I will be happy to answer any questions that you have regarding the Metaverse. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bileca. Wow, that's a really mind-blowing presentation, and the whole idea of the Metaverse is really mind-blowing in itself. We're really interested to find out more. I think in the Q&A, you would have some questions that deal with things like Metaverse networking. I think the Metaverse event is wonderful. We're also still grappling to understand what Decentraland is, or Cryptovoxels for that matter, and all that. So everything's in the Q&A. But perhaps we'd like to just jump into a quick discussion first. Nothing in the chat right now, but we have a poll as well. May I just take a moment to launch the poll. Our friends in the audience, please do let us know what are your thoughts and all that. And please do participate in the poll so that we can know roughly where the swing is, and you know, so that we can, that will guide us in the Q&A as we go along. Yeah. Okay, so right now we are going to have a quick panel discussion or the Q&A itself. I think there are lots of questions on the Q&A. Perhaps we can just jump straight into the Q&A, and then from there we can take the discussion further. Perhaps Kawai, would you like to just lead us into the Q&A segment? You're on mute, Kawai. You're on mute.
Sorry. Yeah, there's a couple of questions that I think in the Q&A. One of the first questions is that how does one assess the different metaverse?
Okay, so this is extremely simple. You just open your browser, recommended Chrome, but Mozilla and Brave also work. And you just go to cryptovoxels.com. I should write the link somewhere for you here in the queue. Actually, I cannot. Oh, I can. So you go to cryptovoxels.com and decentraland.org, if I'm correct. Somnium space and sandbox. Well, I think I will need to research exactly the termination of all these websites. I usually search them on Google, but you can just type the name of any metaverse and it will redirect you to the link and you can just enter. Cryptovoxels is extremely simple to enter in, as well as Decentraland. Cryptovoxels, just enter directly, you get the link to a location and you are there. So no other things required. You can also connect your wallet if you want to have like your custom avatar and your custom clothes and wearables inside the metaverse. You can also in Decentraland, you can just jump in as a guest, but you can also connect your wallet. Decentraland takes a little bit more time because it's a different engine. And Somnium has a custom client which you have to download from their website, and Sandbox is currently in an alpha stage. So I'm not sure how you will access this in the future, but I'm sure that you can access Sandbox through the client. Sandbox is a pretty graphically, from a graphic standpoint, is pretty developed, so it kind of needs a client to run. But the main browser metaverses are Cryptovoxels and Decentraland, and I would strongly recommend to try either of them.
I see. And of course, there's another participant who asked, which metaverse you like the most? Which is the one, your favorite metaverse?
Well, it's very hard to say because they are all so different. It's like having all these different kids. They're all different, but you love them all. So I cannot really pick one of them. Yeah, I really can't. So they are all so different, and I love them all.
Right. Are the world you made per company or existing in the same space, or rather platform or planet, or do you need to access them separately?
Yes, that's the beauty of the metaverse, because you in Decentraland you buy parcels of land and you can actually have companies next to each other. That's the beauty of it. You go in the center, maybe you see Sotheby's, and next to Sotheby's you see another big company like Philips. There are so many possibilities. It just needs to be explored a little bit more. I saw someone that mentioned Facebook here, and yeah, Mark Zuckerberg actually tweeted about that. Metaverse is the future, and I really think there will be like a strong social media presence in the metaverse. So you will basically have your own profile. Maybe you can have your own house inside the metaverse decorated with photos from your trips or games that you like. You can play games inside the metaverse, and having this virtual economy. You can basically live off the metaverse. As I said, I do see as a mainstream social media platforms moving into the metaverse. Yeah.
Are the architects and artists active in the metaverse? I mean, is this something that is getting very exciting and getting into the trend?
Yes, at the beginning, artists were the ones who were doing NFTs, who got into the NFT space, were actually the ones who were on the testing grounds of the metaverse, and they were actually trying to build a crazy building inside the metaverse, Ready Player One type, and then some architects stepped in.
Okay.
We were one of them, and we started exploring this, and we said we can basically build anything here. But we actually saw some real, like, very famous architects getting interested in the metaverse. I cannot really mention some. I spoke with some of them, but I cannot really mention them at the moment because they have some project in development. So I would rather not destroy that surprise. There is, for example, one that I can mention, which is Krista Kim. You probably know her from selling the NFT with House of Mars. He's very, very interested in augmented reality. So this is, she loves Superworld, and she's actually developing some projects with them. We had a panel discussion about that, I think 1 week ago, and she was very excited about what Metaverse can become.
And they are designed by architects, and who do the design of the buildings actually? Who did that?
The architects we have, like in our team, we have right now 2 architects. They studied architecture, they know like all these basic architecture things, but we have made a slow transition. This is how we started. We started with relatable buildings to the real world, like the Crypto Motors dealership. Buildings that you jump into the metaverse and you kind of feel like you're in the real world and interacting with things like you would normally do. And then the metaverse is shifting away from that slowly but steadily, like the B20 build, which is a very, very crazy build out of this world that can showcase what you can actually build in the metaverse, as opposed to like just emulating real buildings. Artists are the one who are gonna become like very good architects in the space. That's how I see concept artists, especially that work in the gaming industry, are gonna be great for doing this. But architects too. Architects will take advantage of their knowledge of 3D softwares, and they will actually make some really cool things and ideas in the metaverse.
All right. We have also another interesting question. Facebook announced that they have a vision to turn their platform into a metaverse company. Do you see more mainstream social media platform moving to the metaverse?
Yes.
How do you think metaverse will impact the AEC industry in the next 10 years? I mean, interesting questions.
I think I really think that the metaverse will become mainstream. Like this is, as I said earlier, like Mark Zuckerberg is excited about this. A lot of high-profile people are very excited about this. We've mostly worked with a lot of them, and I really see a shift to the metaverse for social media companies.
And I think that would also happen in the very near future.
In the very near future, metaverse and cryptocurrencies economies. This is not a matter of if it will happen, it's when it will happen eventually.
All right. What would best define metaverse in layman term, actually?
I am not sure about this. Metaverse, I don't know. Metaverse is a virtual world, but it's very hard to define it in a single word. It's very hard to define it in a single word. It's a parallel universe. I really don't know how to explain it better than that. 2 words: parallel universe. Yeah.
All right. I mean, okay. And do you think that e-commerce would help propel the metaverse to mainstream digital platform?
I think that the metaverse will actually propel e-commerce. Because you will be able to walk into this metaverse, and not only you will go in the website, but you will actually be able to see those clothes, turn them around, check the sizes. Maybe they will resize and they will fit to your character, that will fit to your actual dimensions. It's a very interesting opportunity here with e-commerce, and we're definitely working in that.
Interesting.
Is there a, I see there a question, is there a possibility of
integrating, yes.
Yeah, the metaverse into an MMORPG. Well, integrating it into an existing MMORPG might be possible, but I think it might be easier to integrate a MMORPG into the metaverse. For example, Sandbox, it's actually a metaverse where you buy lands, but it's actually a game platform. So you can build games in it. You can build MMORPGs from the ground up. So Decentraland also has an open SDK. You can work on the SDK as a developer, and you can actually develop games inside of Decentraland, like battle racers. And
are you going to build your own metaverse?
well, that's a good question. Well, I actually thought about this a while ago, but I am not yet sure about this. I was thinking, but I think it's better we just stick to, like, we are split in so many things right now, like building, architecture, e-commerce. I think it will make sense to focus in one area and get like really good at that and get like a seamless experience, then develop our own metaverse and start everything from the ground up. I'm not sure if Voxel Architects will develop its own metaverse, but very probable we're going to develop our own games inside the metaverse and our own buildings. So we're helping basically the metaverse develop.
Does that work for Sandbox? Yep.
For that this work for Sandbox, what do you mean that this work for Sandbox? I'm not sure I understand the question.
Right. Perhaps we move to the other question.
Yeah.
Who's the current target audience in the metaverse?
So the target current audience are actually big brands who are trying to get early on in the metaverse and see how they can get inside the community, inside the space, and develop a presence there. So mainly big brands, but also high net worth individuals, because the lands in the metaverse, frankly, they are not cheap at the moment. So you can expect some lands in Cryptovoxels to cost a lot of money, around $25,000, $30,000 for one land. And also we have Decentraland on the other spectrum, which it has some land that costs around $5,000. So mostly brands who have like this ability to spend and to explore are the most prevalent in the metaverse. As a normal person, like starting out with your startup, I'm not sure if it's going to be the greatest idea to spend your company's funds in the metaverse at the moment. I would rather let the big companies explore this and make space for smaller companies to join. And let's say once the prices will stabilize or drop a little bit, they can join and build in the metaverse.
Yeah, I think Joseph clarified about the Sandbox. There's a crypto, a virtual land for sale.
Yes. They are actually doing like periodic sales. So you can go on OpenSea on their website or their Twitter, and they will redirect you to a link where you can actually purchase virtual lands, mostly with ERC20 tokens. But they also have like their own cryptocurrency, which is Sand, and that's Sandbox cryptocurrency. You can buy the lands with it. In Decentraland, you can buy the lands with native Decentraland cryptocurrency, which is Mana, and in Cryptovoxels, you can buy them directly with Ethereum. Yeah, but there are a lot of crypto virtual worlds for sale, not only Sandbox, but Cryptovoxels and Decentraland. As I said, it's an open economy. You buy a land, you own it, you can resell it, and it's gonna be there forever. It's an NFT, it's a code on the blockchain, it's gonna stay there. Unless there is a smart contract that makes it disappear or destroy, which I don't think is the case for this.
Can there be architecture services for virtual property?
Yeah, that's actually literally what we're doing. So
Yeah.
if you need an architect, just reach us out and we'll be happy to help you with that.
Yeah. Actually, I have a question regarding, you know, in this metaverse. What are the main challenges that the companies that wanted to build a presence in the metaverse is facing, are facing? I mean,
What are the challenges that companies
the
are
company
facing?
who wanted to build a presence in the metaverse.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
what
So
do you think they're facing?
the metaverse is nice and shiny overall, but there is a problem with it, and that's currently scalability. So you want to build for your company a building, and then you want to host a big event.
Right.
Well, at the moment, it's very unstable, the metaverse. So we had the B20 event with the people artworks, and that was way back in January, and there were thousands of people joining, and yeah, the metaverse kind of crashed, but luckily the creator was there to put it back on its feet. Decentraland also has a little bit of problem in that regard, because the more people there are, the more lag there is, and the harder it is for you to move within the game. But I know for a fact that they are working on solving these problems with their servers, and I know in the future this will be scalable. But at the moment, as I said, they are testing grounds for big company, so they have to deal with this, unfortunately. And also the code limitations. We are also limited by what the metaverse can offer us. In Decentraland, we have limits of polygons to build. Like we go in our 3D software and we are limited to 10,000, 20,000 polygons for 2 parcels. In Cryptovoxels, we are limited by height and width of the parcels and how many objects we can actually put on the parcel. So we cannot like go absolutely crazy with the designs. As long as we are within the limits, the technical requirements, I think we should be fine. But yeah, these are like 2 of the most challenging things that the companies will face.
I mean, just now you were explaining that the architects actually did the design, and probably I think your team as well. Where do you draw the inspirations to come up with this architecture design? Is it very specific to the products that the companies or the how do you get your inspiration to design?
Okay, so we usually discuss with the client, and the client actually gives us an input of what they want, and we kind of get a rough idea. But like any other, it's exactly like any other architectural process. We search on the internet, we go on Google search, Pinterest, we search for inspiration there. We combine what the client wants, and we actually we use professional software. We use Blender to actually design that in 3D. We use Blender, we sketch, yeah, just the usual architectural process. And yeah, if the client has some crazy ideas, like I want to code that door to open diagonally, we can do that. If he wants to have like a building that's in the shape of an octopus, we can also do that. So
it's very open to imagination.
Exactly. The sky is the limit.
Okay, Rebecca has a question. What are the thoughts on the ethic of designing in the virtual world?
The thoughts on the ethics. I'm not sure what that means, Rebecca.
Perhaps it's like Second Life, you know, when you can have
it's
interactions that are maybe not so not so suitable. I'm guessing it's like Second Life, right? The old Second Life, and there are interactions in Second Life that are not perhaps not so desirable. I think that presumably that's what it means. I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, I mean, the virtual world is a complementary world to the real world. The real world will never disappear, and I don't think there's any issue on designing and actually having this virtual economy running in parallel with the real one. So I think they complete each other rather than compete with each other.
Great. Can I squeeze in a question?
Sure.
Bileca, just a very, very pertinent question. Now, if let's say a person in the street wants to create his own metaverse, like the Central Land and all that, and start auctioning virtual parcels and all that, can he or she do it? Can it be done? And what are the constraints? What are the, what does he have to overcome in order to create? I want to create my own metaverse tomorrow morning. How do I do it?
Wow, that's a really big question, but yeah, it's possible. And we have some clients that actually wanted to build in one of the metaverses, and now he's developing his own metaverse. It's a matter of knowing how to create a game, first and foremost, how to code on blockchain. That's the most important thing, because this is built on blockchain. So you need to have like very good developers to do that, to know how to code like the movement of a character inside a game, and to know also blockchain. And you also need artists to develop the interface. You need artists and designers and probably architects to develop the entirety of the map. So there are a lot of people involved. It's just like basically a game studio, more or less,
yeah.
but with running with the real economy, basically.
Right. Understand. So you need an entire team. It's almost like developing a game in many ways, like you say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
The game universe. Yeah. Wow. Daunting. It's quite a daunting task. So
Exactly.
not everybody can do it. I mean, you don't just like I wake up in the morning and I want probably won't happen. If I may just squeeze, I know for interest of time, just squeeze in one last question, if I may. Now, do you see the democratization of designing for the metaverse? Right now, you have architects like yourself designing for the metaverse. You see eventually the metaverse as it grows and matures and all that, that the public tends to design. Like YouTube, right? User-generated content, co-creation, and all that. You see the democratization of the design process as the metaverse grows and matures.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm even seeing it now. There are a lot of companies and individuals that are doing exactly what we're doing. So there is competition in the space. Although one year ago wasn't. Now people are starting to notice this, and I do see in the future, like once the land will get cheaper and cheaper and further away from the center, people will start to build their own stuff, just like they do in the real world. So they will learn by themselves. They would not necessarily need companies. You need a building company if you want to build something extraordinary. If you are a company and want to have like AAA quality on your builds, and you know what you're getting because you're hiring a professional team. But if you are just a regular person who just wants to have a presence in the metaverse and just some artwork displayed on the wall, you can totally do it by yourself even now.
Understand. Thank you so much. I think that's really I wish we could go on and on. I mean, there's so many questions that we want to be asking.
With pleasure.
Really a brave new world of the metaverse. Kawai, sorry, back to you, Kawai.
Yeah, I think like what did Hao say, I think we have a lot of other questions, but I think that's all the time that we have for the session. I hope that every participant here has found something new and something interesting to take with them. And I thank you, George, for being the BeyondX speaker, and to our audience. You may check, and of course, I think this is the last slot at our last session. Perhaps for next year, do check the event schedules, and I think we will be happy to have you here again. Right?
Yep. And just signing off for BeyondX 2021. Thank you so much to everybody who has been with us this last 2 days, and all the speakers, and to the wonderful audience. Thank you so much for your support and being with us this year. It's not over yet though, because please do go to our Facebook, our Instagram, and our our YouTube channels and all that. So there plenty of post-event stuff there that you can still enjoy. And we hope to keep this conversation going as we build up towards the next year. So again, signing off for BeyondX. Thanks, Bileca. Thanks for the wonderful, mind-blowing, enlightening presentation this afternoon.
Thank you very much for having me here. Thank you.
I think we should talk a bit more.
Sure, whenever.
And thank you so much to everyone. So we are signed from the BeyondX team this year. Thank you again, and we are signing off for BeyondX 2021. See you next year, and on our social media channels. Right? Thank you.
See you next year.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye bye. Stay safe.